We need to figure out a different way to educate and show videos that can edit that, because we're not trying to hide the reality of a product or a procedure or a service, but we're also trying to not do that a disservice by visually giving an impression that may not be completely accurate.
Welcome to Success Confidentials.
9 minutes every week that'll level up your practice. If you're a healthcare visionary obsessed with patient experience, team culture, marketing, and growth, you're in the right place.
We are too. We're Lauren
and Christine,
the patient whisperers. We worked together for 4 years as leaders in a real premium practice.
We did not play in the traditional healthcare sandbox and believe human emotions drive all success, and it really, really worked. We grew our cash pay practice an average 60% year over year.
And on social media, we grew our followers from 1,000 to 14,000 in just 2 years, generating millions in annual revenue from social media alone.
So now we're out here sharing what made us wildly successful so you can be too.
Let's have some fun.
Let's dive in. Today, let's talk about a certain kind of video that we see posted on social media all the time. And if you're posting this kind of video, please stop. What kind of video are we talking about?
We are talking about these educational videos that show a behind the scenes of your service or procedure in the way that it is squeamish, gory, looks a little painful or uncomfortable potentially to the patient. And what exactly comes to mind for me is obviously we worked in an ophthalmology practice, is videos of eye surgery when things are going into the eye and they're poking around or holding the eye. Even though we worked in practice, it still gets me every time and turns my stomach. And we're healthcare professionals.
Yeah. We get it. Your intentions are great. You want to show what the procedure or service is like. You want to show maybe your technical prowess or make an educational piece of content. And the thing that we forget as healthcare professionals is our audience does not necessarily want to see it all the time. Now, if you're posting B2B, so say maybe on LinkedIn, you are posting for your peers. That's a different story. We get that. There's a place for that. But if you're posting on social media channels that are for your potential patient, that's where we have to stop and edit ourselves.
So if these videos look like your procedure or service could be painful or uncomfortable for any reason at all, it's really working against you.
Yeah.
And like we always say, put yourself in the shoes of the consumer. And in our case, those are our potential patients. And you go and you follow a practice on social media, let's say Instagram, because you're interested in what they offer, but you don't immediately convert into a patient because maybe you're wanting to get more information and you see the content and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I should do that. I should do that.
And when you say you're interested in the procedure or service, let's even pause there.
Yeah.
As a potential patient, as a consumer, you're not actually interested in the product or service. You're interested in the benefits and results, right? You're interested in that outcome that you want. That's what you're actually truly interested in.
Especially in that stage of following practices on social media, maybe that bottom 3%, if we're talking about the larger market funnel, they could go and want to learn more about what actually happens in an OR room or the procedure room. But if we're talking about the people that are on social media and they're just following us to get more information,
casual curiosity.
And it's such a casual relationship too. So if they're scrolling on their phone at night after work and a video, like the example we used earlier, of a needle going into someone's eye pops up, immediately they want to unfollow you or hide your content, which is even worse, honestly.
Yeah. And this can be really any industry. So it could be aesthetics. You know, I've seen videos of certain facial procedures even happening, like facials that just look abrasive and look rough and the skin looks really irritated. It looks uncomfortable and painful. We need to figure out a different way to educate and show videos that can edit that, because we're not trying to hide the reality of a product or a procedure or a service, but we're also trying to not do that a disservice by visually giving an impression that may not be completely accurate. So if we do have videos that are a little bit more in depth, a little more educational, where should they live and what's the appropriate way to position them?
So, of course, LinkedIn, like you mentioned earlier, but also YouTube. That's where the researcher is going to go. So someone that is ready to consume that content and really wants to see behind the scenes, that's where it should live. And then making sure, though, that you really explain the procedure in the caption or even in stickers on the video, because the fear of the unknown really creeps in here, and people assume if for any reason it looks painful or uncomfortable, that immediately it is painful and uncomfortable, and then you could lose them from that. So you want to make sure you explain everything, especially like procedures like LASIK. People don't know that there's numbing drops, or like we were talking about aesthetics, lip filler. They don't know they have,
so painful.
It looks horrible in the videos, but people don't know that they have dental blocks in primarily, or they have numbing cream. And so they think there's no way I could do that because they don't know that that's really the process.
So if our argument is this video is educational and I need to educate my potential patients, yes. So to really take that a step further, to truly and fully educate our potential patients, we can't just throw up a video that does not really aggressively explain the process, and maybe even have content warnings, right? That's a great way to do it, where at the beginning of the video, we focus on the safety, the comfort, the outcomes, and then have a content warning that, okay, now we're going to go in depth. We're going to show you behind the scenes. If you're squeamish, maybe now's when you want to tap out. We can do that in a really good way that still protects our viewer who doesn't want to see that and knows they don't want to see that. But keep it there for the person who does, because there is that small percentage of patient who really does geek out on that. We just want it to be where they can find it if they're looking for it, not where the other large portion of our demographic is just scrolling and then they're turned off. And now I don't want to do this. Now I've made up my mind. This feels like something that scares me.
Okay, what can you actually go and do in your practice from today's conversation? The first thing is, before you post, step back and think, is there any reason someone would perceive this as painful and uncomfortable? Or it could be squeamish for them.
And clean up your profiles. Go look and see, are there any videos already on your Instagram grid, your Facebook feed, on your YouTube that are showcasing information that might give a negative impression to the viewer, and take them down. And then maybe, like we said, re-edit them if you're putting them back on YouTube, where it has that warning, it has that touchy-feely first. So don't leave them up there. We can take them down, we can change them, make them better, and then reuse them on YouTube or our website if there's a place for that.
And if you feel like maybe you're not the best judge for this because you really geek out on those things, which is understandable, we're in healthcare, show someone else.
Yeah, someone who's not technical, who's not in that technical role, and see how they react. As always, we don't leave you hanging. Our social media success program has everything you need to know to be successful on social media and make millions like we did through strategy and practical execution. If we can help you with anything related to today's topic, use the link to schedule a free 30-minute synergy session just for new practices.
For our existing practice clients, you already know where to find us.
Now we want to hear from you. What resonated? What other topics are hot for you right now? We want to know all about it in the comments.
We're just a comment away, so if you have any questions, we personally respond to all comments and DMs. If you're not subscribed yet, make it easy on yourself to see new episodes and reference topics that are helpful by hitting the subscribe button.